Welcome back to another Empyrion stream. We're currently getting set up for a drone hunt today. We're going to go gather some more ground cores, do some work, get things done. That's the general plan. Or at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Things that have happened since last stream. I've done a bit more work on the Timberwolf here. We'll take a look at those real quick. We are gearing up this run for the Tavera at the end of. It might not be Saturday. It might actually be Thursday because of the problems that we had with the Cuavera, or wherever that name is, the avocado, and
Camera.
the Camerat. There it is. Because of the kicking, because we're thinking maybe it was just load on the server. It might be a better idea for us to attempt the Tavera on a day that is not quite as impacted, like Saturday. So that might actually be next stream on Thursday. That is a very big ship. Has a lot of turrets. Has a lot of shield. We're going to take in 2 combat CVs. We've got 2 Scarabs, Sky and G-Con. There is a Scarab for me as well, but I haven't really kitted it out yet. I've been working mostly on the Timberwolf, and so maybe I'll take the Timberwolf in and get punished. So it should be fun to see me scream and get all salty about stuff that people already warned me not to do. See, look, I'm acknowledging. Oh, God damn it! I hate it when that happens. I switch in, and I just took out something. What did I just take out, or did I? Am I connected? No. I guess I got lucky and didn't take anything out. Okay. So let's take a quick tour around the ship here, and we'll see what we've got. So I did some slight reconfiguration inside. Let me get off the jetpack. So I've added a couple of passenger seats, one here, a couple up the front. That way, if there is any need to take people places, we can. That was some new stuff. We have added, I think we've got a second superior that we were lost from last time. And now we're looking for quantum extenders. So all the CPUs from the last disaster have been replaced. And now we're just on quantum CPUs. This is going to be the primary health station is on the second floor here with all the stuff. I took out the health station down below. It was just taking up CPU and adding redundancy. So this whole space over here is free to use. And I might end up using that for maybe expanding the storage or even moving the storage in and putting something on the outside, but I don't know if I'll ever get to that. But I did find that the side storages here are, when something goes boom, they're pretty vulnerable. The stuff in the middle tends to survive to some extent. But I took out all the medical on the far side, and I put the O2 and a health station down here as well. So I moved those two. So that way when you're coming in, you can go up and get healed. We've got on the back, I've got the 2 intruders. I've got the APC and the tank. We've got the door knocker, and we've got the heavy miner. Now let's step outside. So I've upgraded the main drive thrust and back to antimatter. So I went both, let me get back here. There we go. I went from ion to plasma to antimatter. The antimatter drives take a couple of cores, but I'm now at the point where I can go in and grab some cores from like the comm centers on my own and don't have to be babysat as it was occurring before. I've also discovered the mod lasers. I can use them on planet in atmosphere. I just have to get really close. So I have to put my nose on a turret and then they have the range. I think their range is nerfed in atmosphere, and that makes sense. Lasers do tend to have some loss of coherence through the atmosphere. I upgraded all the other ions to plasma, so the ship's performance is much better now. It's not quite it's not quite Scarab standard, but it's getting there. It's pretty close. So I can get in, I can get out. I have the shields comparable to a combat CV. My guns, I think, if we're going to go the Tavera, I'll take out all of the harvester drill turrets, the ice drill turrets, and I will replace those with stuff. I think I'll probably replace these side turrets with more railguns. So I'll have, I think, 3 railguns. I might put them on the side. Actually, you know what? I think I'll put them on the top instead. Keep them kind of tightly knitted, so that way when I do take a pot shot with the railguns, I have a bunch more punching power. And then I'll put something else on the side, possibly the 2 EMP launchers that are currently I provisioned onto the Tonka or the Scarab over there. I might take those off, put them on there. That way I can add some EMPs and do some shield bashing. Even though I've got some pretty good shield stripping going on with all the mod lasers. I do have some plasma turrets still on this. I think I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to swap them out or not, but just go all mod. But I think I might leave them. I swapped out the light Gatling gun down at the bottom for a light modulated laser turret. And in fact, let me see if I can grab this turret directly. Yep. Because, well, actually, let's group this back in. There, it's in. Light mod. Anti-shield? Can't do it. I'll just do anti. There we go. This one is intended to be stripping the stripping shields on POIs. There we go. So that should be good. And actually, I'll go ahead and leave it on NBC player drones, so that way when it's above a POI, it can also shoot people's. But this way, it's a light, so it's not doing a lot of damage. It's gamma, so once it takes the shields down, it's going to be going slowly through the armor or weapons or whatever it's going through at the time to get to the generators, and that way I can run through and potentially beat out the ships. So I've kind of got a self-imposed timer, not a serious one, but you know, if I want to get the generators. The nice thing about this is if it does punch through and take out all the generators, then all of the sentry turrets get depowered, and so makes the run through the POI easier. So that's the updates that I've done. I did take a template save. Let's go ahead and do another one, just so I have it. And actually, I'll just go ahead and do the alt O on it as well and throw it into the Timberwolf Dex, which is now the one that has all the extra mods and stuff on it. I hear somebody doing repairs or something. Somebody fixing something?
It's me changing up the Scarab weapons.
Ah. Oh yeah, because I'm over by you. You're all done with me, right? I can go back over to my little hole. Hide it there. Okay. Then I'll double check to make sure I've got all my resources and things squared away. We just went off and did a recovery. So
Yep, I lost the Tonka in drone space to a nullifier.
the freak accident.
Somewhat mysteriously, as it shouldn't have been able to get through my armor, but somehow it did.
Did, yep. Let's see.
So that was the thing.
There's always a thing, isn't there? There's always one thing or
Yeah.
another. All right. Fuel. God, this thing is thirsty. Okay. Topped off. Oxygen. You probably noticed that I went on an oxygen spree.
Yeah.
So now we should have plenty of oxygen to do whatever it is we now damn well feel like it. We're probably going to want to do some dronite too, right? To get the pentaxid?
Yes. Well, I'm sorry, that's not dronite, that's protonium.
Plutonium. Ah. That's the one nearby us. Ammo wise, oh yeah, I got some in the regular ammo box. Yeah, this should be over here. That's for my heavy rocket launcher. I'm getting pretty close to losing another Gauss shotgun. I'm annoyed, by the way, that they will not allow you to go back and repair the same guy. It's like you got to find a new guy every time you want to repair a weapon. So there's a finite amount of times you can repair weapons. Period. I don't like that.
Oh, well, just have to scrounge some more.
Gonna find more of these guys. I threw one into the Ragnar base deconstructor, I think. Yeah, I threw a Gauss shotgun in there. There's a Z beam rifle. I was just throwing stuff in there to be disabled, or not, just deconstructed. Let me go down here and see if we've got any more of those in the small arms locker. Timberwolf. I think it was mods I was keeping that stuff in. Yeah, that one's got all sorts of mods on it, so I wouldn't mind repairing that at some point. It's a pulse rifle. I'm interested in a pulse rifle. I'm in love with this shotgun, man, I'll tell you. It's awesome. No. I don't think we have any Gauss shotguns left in inventory. Bummer. Light railgun. What was that? Light railgun rifle. Yeah. Okay. I would probably end up switching to the light scout. I like the scout. In fact, I think that's my old one right there. Scout rifle's kind of nice. I mean, it just doesn't do the same kind of damage. 132, and that one does what 92, but it like singles. I think there's something not right there because I one shot like everything almost. So we'll have to see how that turns out. I still got another full one, so we'll let that ride. I might also need to start using the light machine gun a bit more. That one's getting down there, but I can go through another. All right. So I think that takes care of those. What else? Shotgun ammo. I'm good on shotgun ammo. Anything else I need to deal with? I think I want to top off my bandages. I have been stockpiling the recovery kits. So I've got some here, and in fact, let me just kind of do this. I got on the Apache. Also, I have a set of first aid. So I got 100 of the recovery kits there. I got 300 in on the Timberwolf. So it's pretty much the point now where I might be switching from health packs to recovery kits because they do 400, and they also get both open wound and fracture, where the health kit only gets the open wound. So it's kind of nice. I can use that instead of a bandage, which just does the open wound on 100. So I've been using bandages kind of as a quick thing, and maybe I'll start switching off again from that to start using the health recovery packs. Injection wise, pills, health injector. Yes, that's kind of a nice. What was this? Chainsaw. However, let's stick this back over on Ragnar. I don't need that mod. Be maybe there. I have used a couple of the implants. I find them to be kind of nice. Though where it says it permanently enhances your body until death or log off apparently. So I had one of those since I was getting to the point where I wasn't dying, and then I logged off and it's gone. I'm like, hey, what happened? You cheaters! I tell you, this game constantly cheats. So let's see, how we doing over here? We're joined by Sky and Gcon today. Hey guys.
Hello.
No, no.
This guy snuck in on the back and was being quiet. But I saw you. We're going to be going into drone space, taking out some stuff. We need to get some more drone CPUs.
My absence was greatly exaggerated.
What was the name? Something, I presume. From you know, well, I don't remember. Maybe one day I'll remember. Let me get into skill trees. 36 points. I think I still do. I have some points left to spend. 36. So let's go ahead and grab some more health. Vicky, come on, be nice. So not going to get. There it goes. Okay. So I just picked up another. Oh, God damn it! So despise when that happens.
You're despised. What?
I switch in and out of my screens. When I switch back in, it automatically does a click on whatever it was currently active. So usually that is my tool. So I end up ripping some piece off my ship every time I click bang in and out. Not a happy camper. Okay. Let's make sure I get my shield back up. Shields. Okay.
Agrabah. Now we will see.
A.
I don't know.
Yeah, me either. Terry, welcome back into stream. You don't trust quantum mechanics. What? Just saw somewhere that birds' eyes have some kind of quantum entanglement that allows them to see the magnetic fields of the Earth. I don't know. Saw it, don't trust it yet. That's typically everything I see. I see in the news some claim about something. My first reaction is, have I heard this somewhere else, and do I trust it? Because there's so much BS out there right now in the news. It's not news. Makes things very difficult. All right. So we're going drone space. Are we about ready to do drone space?
I've got some work to do on Scarab. It needs weapons changed. It also we need more ammunition because unfortunately I lost a bunch.
Okay. Let me double check my ammo stash. I'm pretty good on ammo. Do you need any like 5.56 or 12.7?
No, it's things like plasma cannon, ammo, and real gun
Ah,
slugs.
real gun slugs? Did you say real gun?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the heavies, or are you doing something different?
Hang on, I need to check what this takes. Heavy railgun penetrator, yeah.
That's what I've got. All right, so let me go into Ragnar base. Gonna get closer because I was put on the very edge of the base, so I have to be like nose up to it before it'll actually register that I'm here. Okay, Ragnar base. I'll put it in kinetics, ammo for kinetics, and there's 2,000 rounds. That should take care of you. Now we were also thinking. Oh no, we weren't thinking Tavera or anything like that. Let me just.
You rarely think at all.
I know it's terrible,
Planning?
isn't it?
I mean,
What's that?
you know, do you want to go to drone space? Yeah.
Here, why not? Let's go.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's
Oh, wait. Let me put all our valuables into this flimsy cargo container first.
yes, on the outside, right next to the turret. In fact, I'll put it in front of the
Yeah.
turret so they can't hit it.
And we'll put it right next to
I
the oxygen tank with an engine.
I don't. Lesson in hubris, I suppose. I thought my Tonka was fine. It could take down Guardians, it could take down drones, it could take down Serac ships. And I was carrying a bunch of loot in my cargo, including lots of drone cores, and
Yep.
there
The,
was
the fusion core got hit.
the jump distance, the navigation data, a couple of those. Lots of valuable stuff.
You didn't.
All gone.
Yep. So I get one gimme now.
I will go into close proximity to said drones, but I won't pick a fight with them.
Yeah, but I'd killed a whole bunch of Guardians and stuff in the Tonka before, and
Ooh.
today was no exception. Except a nullifier who must have got in some kind of lucky shot and took out my fusion reactor, and that was all she wrote.
Drone Swarm Nursery. I suppose that's probably not a place I should go
Like
to.
a song there.
What are we looking for, by the way?
Laser guns.
Well, it would
Raiders?
just be an orbit of a planet, just a regular drone orbit.
Okay, so
what we want are Guardians and nullifiers.
we're not going to find those at like infested asteroid fields.
Maybe, but they're darker and more difficult to navigate. I find the orbits easier. You've got a bit more space to move around, less likely to run into, something like a swarm nest or some nonsense like that.
Attach my camera so I can look around and find out where this thing is. So it's in that batch somewhere. What the hell? Really? Did lock that up, didn't I? I did. Besator. Oh, there it is. I'm just sniffing about. Well, that's think. Eden drone POI combat T3, T3, best asteroid field, drone swarm orbit. do you have to make this so difficult? Thinking about why are we all suddenly like getting kicked? Is this what's going on?
Did you
Don't
just get kicked?
don't jinx it.
Sure looks like it. Yep, I'm out. Boom. Total crash. Just gone. Jumping into a space. I think there is a bug or something. There's where if you jump into some locations, it'll just you're out.
Occasionally, a playfield will crash if there's something anomalous in it, and it does that. It will kill the whole process because that will stop the entire server crashing.
Whole server. Who cares?
So I would suggest picking a different system from where you are.
Well, I have to log in first.
Sure, yeah. It'll probably be fine this time. It's just
Yeah.
there's obviously something there that the server was like, I don't like this.
Ooh, lots of moving targets. I'm gonna have to sniff around. Feels like 5, 6. There's 6 moving targets in this system. That's probably the problem. That needs to be thinned out.
Yeah.
Nullifier and Guardian. Something that's refusing to be identified, which is probably a freighter, because they always seem to take a long time to get identified. Harvester. Swarm nest. Capacity matrix. Capacitor matrix. Rude assembly. Swarm assembler. It doesn't look like anybody's ever been to this playfield. Rich dronite. Picked up another brood nest. Small swarm. Another harvester. Double harvester, guardian nullifier combo. Assembly. Assembler. Nest. Where's the capacitor network? Saw that. There it is. Small swarm capacitor. The guardian and the other guy are hanging around at. Okay. Some more rich dronite.
You work on the EO somewhere there, G-Con?
Sorry, what?
Did you work more on the EO? Thought I saw some different looking blocks on it now.
No, haven't done anything to it. Not since
Okay.
did the initial repair.
Double brood assembly. The Dronite's the one that's got all the gold, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I shall grab some Dronite while I'm here. So we like swarm capacity matrix. Do we like brood assembly?
No, too much effort for too little reward.
Okay. One guardian, one nullifier in system, and one swarm capacity matrix. I shall mark this for target.
You're right back.
Remind me. Oh, I don't have it to be. Oh, God. You're right. Get that thing cranking. So what drew you to the Sky? What drew you to the quantum mechanics course?
Just wanted to learn a little bit about it. That and the fact that it's kind of nice to see a professor that's excited about something that they're teaching, and it's MIT course. So,
Hmm. Was this something you saw like on the tubes, or where'd you get it?
yeah, it was on YouTube. I mean, the first one was all about thinking, like trying to see the right from things from the right perspective that would make it easier to understand some of the quantum mechanic principles.
Mm-hmm. Terry wants to try to do that double slit experiment using a 12-inch ruler. That's the one that looks. It either comes up as, depending on if it's a particle or a wave, right? How you observe it or how you're trying to measure it. I say that's a glitch in the system.
Yeah.
Proof
I
that we're
originally
all.
wanted to get a physics degree, but the Air Force wasn't cooperating, so
Mm,
I settled for the next best thing. My son got one.
one way to go about it.
I got one with a physics degree from a baby Ivy League school, one with a computer science degree from the University of Montana, and one right now going to school to get an electrical engineering degree from Western Michigan University.
Yeah. Yeah, I started out going for astronaut. This is when I was getting out of high school, and I
Yeah.
planned it all out for best chances. So, if you want to do that, you need to be a test pilot in the Air Force. You want to be a test pilot in the Air Force, you got to be a aeronautical engineering degree and a pilot. So I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for an engineering degree. I was doing pilot lessons at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and Air Force ROTC. 2 years in, I barely missed out on my eye exam. I maxed out my ASVAB scores, so they were like, "We really want you." It was a 98 pilot, 99 nav. When I think you need like 70s or something like that to qualify. So they're chewing at the bit, but then they have you fill out things like, "Well, how many tickets do you have?" And I'm a bit of a rebel, so I had a number of moving violations. I had a whole bunch of parking tickets, and the RTC detachment at the Embry-Riddle that I was at was actually large enough. It had a colonel running the detachment. And he called me into his office and chewed me up one side down the other because of all the tickets I had and the fact that I had scores I had. And he was telling me he was going to have to send it up to headquarters. The regional couldn't waive it. He couldn't waive it. He had to have headquarters waive it. So he said, "I'm going to send it in anyway, but get out of my office." Called me in like a week later, chewed me up one side down the other, saying that I got approved. He was just so pissed. He had to go through all this effort to get this to happen. It did happen, but it's like, God damn it. Why do I have to, some kind of maverick guy like you? I barely missed my
Right.
eyes and didn't get in. Well, they
Out
were like,
here,
yeah, they said
Pre-
I could be,
Prescott.
yeah, Prescott.
I had a 4-year ROTC there.
You did?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that was,
But there was no hope. I was in aeronautical at the time, but there was no hope for my glass. I had shitty vision,
ah,
but I still had the scholarship, so
right. Well, that's a good place to go with the scholarship.
yeah.
Yeah, they're tough. I mean, in engineering, when you did the drafting course, I have, I've
I
always
hate
had bad handwriting.
I hated it. I can't draw for shit.
My drawings were fine. My
Like
lettering was crap.
like in all in school, I would get straight A's for the most part, except for penmanship, and when you're in elementary school and just vomit because my writing's atrocious.
Right.
It smears. Because I push so hard. Um, so all the stuff into back then in drafting were required deft touch where you could alter the force and change pencils, but it wasn't just the pencil; it was how you pushed and all that, and I couldn't do it. That was beyond me. So I think I made a C in drafting when I went there. Um, but
I got
no, that only lasted a semester.
Yeah, I got B's in drafting. My drawings were all good. It was my lettering though. My lettering got max points off because I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, all my life I've had this lettering problem, and he's like, I get you, I understand, but the real world isn't going to give a shit, so I'm not going to either on your grades. You figure out another way to make it happen because you're gonna have to do that in the real world. I'm like, God damn it, yeah, you're right.
But then in the future we don't. So
Right. Well, yeah, yeah. Did you take physics or chemistry there?
chemistry.
Yeah.
Well, both actually. I think I'd take them both in the same semester.
I It was also an adjustment for me when you do your labs, and the first thing that the teacher does for your physics or your chem lab is hand the lab over to the English department to grade because they had that rule if you got like I think it was 3 or 4 grammatical errors, you failed the paper. And so your lab would get failed before they even looked at your numbers. And they said, look, your manager, the guy who's going to be looking at all your work, he doesn't know what you're doing. He's gonna judge you based on your writing, not your numbers. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to make sure that your writing is solid, and then if it is, then you'll have a chance to have your fight for your numbers. Wow.
It sounds like a career I'm not interested in.
It can be
But now
challenging.
that I think about it, no, I didn't take that at either place. I took that in music school. But yeah, my biggest gripe with Embry Riddle and what caused me to end up not continuing was I enrolled in college, regular algebra, full algebra,
Oh,
because my school didn't have a calculus program.
yeah.
And first day of class, the instructor, he said, how many are here in engineering degrees? And I'm pretty much the entire class raised their hand. And the next thing I know, we're doing calculus. And I'm like, wait a minute, I fucking took algebra so I would be ready for calculus. And that was the end of that.
I I dread to think of. I think I know the teacher you may have had. Um, he did consulting on the side, and his price tag was super high. And I remember him once telling a story about he got a call from a company that used to do cast. They cut out casting from a metal sheet, and they would try to maximize how much custom cuts they would do on a sheet. And they turn it around within 24 hours. And the program would take 26 hours to run. So they were always behind. And they're like, well, we'd like to hire you to try to figure this thing out. And he's like, okay, well, I charge, I forget what the number was, but he gave them a number and they choked. And they said, well, we're going to have to go ask about this. So they went off. They came back like 2 hours later and they said, well, we can't afford that kind of pay to do this. He's like, okay, I understand. It's a shame. I already got your answer though. So call me if you need anything. And they're like, wait, what? And he ended up in class going through the whole calculation of how did he figure out a way to beat out the Pythagorean theorem to figure out the areas and stuff with a margin of error that was acceptable because in the real world you don't have to be perfect. That was the problem. The programming they had before was going for perfect, and he doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be very close.
Yeah, I've talked to my kids about that a lot of times. About, yeah, you might need the real answer eventually, but right now you need to be ballpark. You can get ballpark, you'll not waste a lot of your time.
Right.
You'll know, is this even doable? How much is this going to cost? I said sometimes knowing that shit ahead of time is way more important than having the exact answer, which you can do later.
Right. Right. Yeah, this guy also did when he did the algebra course. He did algebra. No, it was actually I would think it was algebra. He did algebra for the semester in half a semester, and then he started over and he did it again because he said, repetition is the key here. So I'm going to
That
take you through
was
it so you know where you're going, and then we're going to do it again.
yeah.
uh, God, the guy was so smart. He would put stuff up on the board, and you go, okay, so this is step, and you go from here to here to here, and people put their hands up. It's like, wait, how did you go from A to B? He's like, oh, sorry, let me go back, and they break down A to B into A, B, C, and D because he just naturally skipped so many steps,
I
even when
used
he
to love
dumbed it
that.
down.
Yeah, I used to love how they could skip steps, but Lord forbid if you skip steps.
Right.
And it was like, yeah.
Did you go down to Whiskey Row?
Oh, yeah. First place I got totally shit faced and hungover. Well, never mind. I know it. Well, yes. I think it was, if I remember the order of my late teens correctly. But yeah, I got totally drunk down there, and that was not a good idea.
Yeah,
But
very.
I enjoyed Prescott.
It was a good small town. You know, it's a mile up, so even though you're in Arizona, it's not so bad. You know,
Yeah, and
the
it's
only
not
thing,
the burning Phoenix and stuff. And
yep. I did hear statistics once. It was the number one in number of churches per capita, and number one in devil worship. I'm like, I can believe it.
you ever go to Jerome?
I think I did a couple times. It was
It's pretty,
the mining
pretty
town
amazing.
nearby.
Yeah, that copper mine in the side of the
Yeah,
cliff. It was pretty amazing.
yeah, they did a lot of mining up in there. There was a lot of little caves and stuff too that you could go splunking in if you wanted to.
And I went out there when they were like, well, they can't renew the scholarship. I went home. They were asked if I wanted to join the Air Force, and I said no. And I went home, piddled around for like over a year, and then I think I said, "Oh fuck it, I'll join." And then had trouble getting in um,
Oh wow.
because of the very same thing. Mine is really, I mean, they blew. I cheated every step of the way to get through. Um, by that I mean I originally had started out trying to get into the academy and applying for the 4-year ROTC scholarship. I ended up winning the 4-year ROTC scholarship. Getting the I finally got. I just shot a hole in the top of my ship, son of a bitch. I got the appointment to the academy, but by the time I could get all my, like you said, waivers through obscure places in the DoD,
Hmm.
all the excuse me, I got that backwards. I got the nomination from my congressman, but by the time I got the waivers from the eyes, um, all the actual appointments were gone, which is usually once you get the nomination, appointments formality. It's just something you got to get, but everybody gets it. Well, I couldn't because they were all gone by the time I got my waivers, so I never could do the academy.
Oof.
But I was never going to be a pilot anyways because my eyes just totally sucked.
Right. Yeah. When they said I couldn't be a pilot, they said you could definitely be a nav. You could be second seat in anything you want to be in. And I'm like, yeah, I get motion sick. I was coping with it while I was flying. If I was finding ways to not have that happen, but I'm like, as a navigator, no way. I got to be flying to be able to do that.
No,
So
my vision was bad enough that I didn't meet minimum for entry to the Air Force. So it was that bad. And then let's see, when was that? 2000. That was 15 years later. I cheated really badly. I went and got LASIK done before it was legal, and for the Air Force. Well, the Air Force doesn't like they'll let you do it now under certain conditions. But I went and did it before it was legal, and
right.
it was kind of hilarious in my opinion.
Yeah, they that actually was one of the things I was a little bit off before I gone, and I knew that, and I knew also they wouldn't accept LASIK. So I was doing corrective contacts and the hard contacts,
Yeah,
and
that's what
that's
I wore. I wore gas permeable hards until that time. Those hurt.
those. Yeah, they do.
But I went in and somehow I don't know if I managed to snuck a bunch of questions into the ophthalmologist. I had to see ophthalmologist. I couldn't just see optometrist because my eyes sucked. But anyways, I managed to get from him that if if somebody had it done, it would be come down to one thing and one thing only. Can you see? Um, he says if you can see I mean, number one, it's a mandatory medical review board at that time. He says it'll come down to one thing. Can you see? He says if you can see, he says they'll return you to duty with probably no restrictions. He says, but if you can't see, if there's a problem, he says they'll kick you out. Um, and so when I did it, I had to look for a place that was experienced with really crappy prescriptions because my left eye was like a minus 11 and a half.
Oof.
And I think the minimum standards to get in the Air Force at the time, I think were minus 8.5, something like that. But anyways, the only two places that had lots of experience doing LASIK at the time was Canada and Colombia. And I was like, I am not in this day and age, and this was in the 80s, or excuse me, 2000, excuse me. And the drug wars are still going on. I said, I am not going to Colombia and trying to get surgery, no matter how great their medical system is supposed to be. I said, no, I can just see it now on the front page of the news being kidnapped or some craziness. And every place I went, because they had just started doing LASIK in America, but every place I called was like, how many eyes have you done? Well, just enough to get certified plus like 2. And I'm like, oh, no, thank you. And it was like, so none of these places had any real experience doing it. Well, that guy's moving pretty fast. But anyway, so I went to Toronto, had the procedure done because these guys they'd done thousands of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had it done, I knew within minutes that, hey, I could see. But anyways, I not to drag the story out right then and there, but I went home after it was done, and then I avoided the optometry clinic like plague. And when in the military, you got to be deployable. So they're like, we need you to come in, we need you to come in, we need you to come in. And I'm like, do, 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 do. And until I finally couldn't anymore. And I had to go in. And I sat down in the chair. And to give you a reference point, when I sit down in the chair and they say, which way is the E facing? Before that, it was always like, there's an E down there, because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the E, much less the way it was facing. And I sat down in the chair and they did the standard, what's the smallest line you can read? And I picked one like 2 past 2020, like way down there, like 8 or 10 lines down. It just went da 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 da, and he was like, and he looked at me and he was like, all right, what did you do? I was like, so I'm like, oh. So at that point, the
Nothing.
cat was out of the bag. But they did just like he said. They did the medical review board, And since I picked a good doctor to go to, my eyes were perfect. I mean, it sucked because, what do they say? Anything past 2400 is really an estimation based upon all the little dials and stuff. They can't measure it. So when they look at all the little flip things that they put in front of your face to get you to, when you're doing your test, based upon those numbers, they estimate your actual vision. So 2600, 2800, what all that crap is all an estimate because they can't measure it. They may be able to do it now. But anyways, at the time, my right eye was 2400, I think, but my left eye was like 20,000. And so I went from my right eye. I mean, they both sucked, but my right eye was my strong eye. My left eye was incredibly weak. It just sucked. But when I had LASIK done, I went to 20/20 in my right eye and 20/10 in my left. So my left eye became my strong eye, and it was better than 20/20. It was amazing to say the least. I mean, now that I've, because this whole thing, LASIK doesn't correct age degeneration, for your vision,
Yep.
because it's a different set of muscles. And so now my right eye's stronger again, but I'm still well below 20/40, which is driving without glasses in all the states. So yeah, I don't have 20/20 anymore, and at the time I did, or better. But yeah, and then the rest is history. I continued with the Air Force and retired, but it was pretty cool. I kind of, at the time when I had it done, um, I was in Hawaii, and I got fed up with do I want to go in the water? Or do I want to see the kids, make sure they don't drown and stuff, or rolling over and not being able to see the damn clock on your bed. So I decided, screw this, and I happened to get the money and just said, I'm going to go get this done. Screw the Air Force. But I mean, at no time could I have ever flown.
Right. Why is that Guardian at 16%?
But I know, like, when I was in applying for the academy, one of the people that I was applying to was my senator. I don't know if you remember, but he wasn't happened to be John Tower, who was the chairman of the Senate Arms Committee at the time. He was well, let's say he had his faults. He was from Texas. Um and But anyway, so I grew quite familiar with his office, and I guess that he remembered my name because of all the applications. And then when I got out of the scholarship, well, I couldn't get in the Air Force because of no appointments left. And then the scholarship, and I didn't go to school. I wrote one more letter and said, "Hey, there's not letting me in just the plain old Air Force." And I'd already been submitted like 2 waiver packages to the place that you're supposed to send waiver packages to. And I wrote him a letter, and a couple of weeks later, I get this approval from some office in the Pentagon that nobody ever hears of. That was like some little gee whiz medical office, and it said approved. Oh, and the recruiters and the medical guys are looking at it, going, "Who the these guys?" And so I knew at that time, though, that if I ever got out of the Air Force, I would never get back in. It's just so yeah. I don't want to say cheated, but it was similar to cheating. There's one engine.
It's 2.
Where did I put all my charges? But I had some cool jobs in the Air Force.
Guys, I'm gonna have to go grab something to eat. I'll be back shortly.
The back brush.
Oh, sure, sure. Reload. Come on, Swarmer. You want some of this. It's right through there. Right there. Yep, there's one. Three back there. Further up. Right spot. Right there. Still in the fight. Not guess right. I'm pretty sure this works. There he goes. Nullifier is 2 kilometers out. You just waiting for me to get out, buddy? I know he is. down, guys. Another swarmer down. Another swarmer. Down to 2. I really should go take care of that nullifier before I go in here and mess with this guardian. I think we go throw a core on it. Let's see, where do I have cores? Personal? No core? Okay. How about 3 of these? Okay, I'm all done with you guys? Good. Nullifier still hanging out there. No, he's not moving. I think I should go take a peek. Made a mess in here. It looks like he's just sitting over there. Still sitting there. Cool. Doing good. Guardian has been cleared. I think this is the nullifier I took the engines out of. That's why it wasn't coming in close. Right. He's still kicking though. No, I haven't meant to do that. I'm willing to go wait. Yeah, still has a course somewhere. It's probably this one up front. Yep, there it is. Ooh, so many turrets. Wait, what? Woof. Small swarmer came in. Nope, there's another core. So maybe on the other guy, same place. No? Yes. No? There we go. Roof was nothing up there. Get in there, see if there's any boxes laying around. No. Can you hear the concentration? I think that's done. Go back to the nullifier and finish it off. Guy way far away. Good. I want you way far away. Stay away. Working on, yeah. Working on all the good turrets. Shield matrix is out. Can't remember if I did everything. No, I didn't. Definitely didn't do everything outside. And I finished out the inside. Feels like, whoop, maybe not. Fuel. Take fuel, thank you. And some more drone, of course. Okay. Wow. Almost missed all of those. Okay. So that should take care of that. Okay. Now did I get all the turrets? Jeez. Turret Fiesta. Turret Pinata. Alright, let's get in here. We'll break up the, let's throw some stuff in the deconstructor since we're here. And how many of the drones? 85. So, about a tenth of the way where we're trying to get to. Got a request for 1,000 of those. So we got another nullifier over there. Thought there was another harvester. Yeah, there's a harvester over there too. Okay. So we're going to head over that way. And the next thing I'm going to do is let's take a look and see where my expand all. A little bit of damage. Zeros and 1% damage. Oof. There's a set. 75 on the nose. Okay, hold up. Let's go fix that. So while I'm out here, I'll do a pass on all of the turrets. And this guy who's taking a beating. As he is supposed to. I intentionally put the less valuable turrets on the nose, so that way when it does get hit, it does take a whole lot of damage. We'll fix up some of the stuff up here too. I have considered putting in an automated repair. Probably should. Okay, put a little bit of hit points in there. Make them start all over again. No, I'm not getting all of these. Slow down a little bit on the nose. Okay. You have no damage, no damage. What are you guys? A little bit? Engines? A little bit? Okay. Feels pretty good. Didn't hit those guys, but okay. Now, when I take a look, touch on a couple of thrusters and floodlights. Rest is all good. Sweet. Okay. Where I wanted it, nullifier and harvester. I want to get in and take the nullifier's engines out. Then I'll go take out the harvester. Then I'll come back and get the nullifier. So I could probably use a top off on the Daxit. I'll bring that up to full. Nullifier is definitely going to take a couple of pot shots at me, so I pass them by. One of us is pot shotting somebody. Right up your tailpipe, buddy. There goes your engine. You also a pain in my backside. At 45, 32, about. These are the last two flyers in the system, so I shouldn't have to worry about anybody sneaking up on me. Oh, that's a big hole in the back. Hope it didn't turn red. Hold up. Looked like I was getting kind of close to the capacity matrix. I didn't want to do. Yep, I am too close to the matrix or something. We'll head over here. Was I? What was shooting at me? Was the matrix maybe? 14% A. Give me a U. Get a nice right up the back side here. No, that's not the one I want. Yep. Rolling over. Yeah, we're quiet. Sweet. Nullifier into main. 22. What? That's it? Yeah. That makes the system clear of moving targets.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. Prepping a system. We got a small capacity matrix if you want it, or capacitor matrix.
Ooh.
Taking out 2 nullifiers, a guardian, a couple of harvesters, a swarm. Lots of loops.
Just loading in. I think I'm ready to. Oh, ship is fitted out.
Cool.
Just double check the settings before I depart. Fuel, oxygen, pentaxid, good. Ammo is good, shield is good, CPU all good. Alrighty. Parting for a tour of duty.
Okay. I am at Bazir. Yeah, right. Okay, hold on.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
I know. There you go, Bazir. And we're on planet, well, we're the only planet in the system. So hopefully you can figure that out.
That's disorder.
Okay. And he is now dismantled. Okay, let's look at the deconstructor. It's still chewing away. Here, have some more turrets to chew on. Okay, I should probably put some of this stuff. I'm gonna sort. Let me sit here and sort a
Planets.
bit. There's one planet. Guess which one I'm on.
Sir.
Oh,
Oh, okay, sorry, it was showing me the wrong map. Empyrion does that sometimes.
Yeah, it does. I'm up to 100 drone processors.
Oh.
So we're 10% of the way there.
Okay.
Right? Need 1,000?
Game crashed.
Oh.
So does that mean it dumped me in space? Probably.
Nice. Yeah,
So
if
what
you
we doing?
we're in a system. I just took out Guardian, 2 nullifiers, 2 harvesters, small swarm. We've got a small capacity matrix here. But when you jump in the system, you will crash. But once you're in system, it's fine.
Oh,
Hence,
so you didn't change. Right, okay.
I did what?
Was everybody there?
Everybody being.
Anyway? What,
Yeah.
me?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody except you.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know where I am. I might be lost in hyperspace somewhere.
No, you crash on hyperspace when you come into the system. I don't know why, but it's a thing.
Maybe this is not the system we want to be in then?
Well, once it's here, it's all fine. So if we clear it out, then we won't have to worry about it anymore.
All right. Yes. Okay. I did actually get here in one piece. Okay. I see you. I see dead things.
Yes.
You've done a job of work here.
I done. Yes.
So you want to take on the swarm capacity matrix? Oh,
I think so. I mean, you said the brood nests aren't worth it, right? And I don't think there's anything else left
yeah.
in this system that's moving. All the movers should be dead and
Oh,
looted.
the thieving. I had my weapons loaded, come in unloaded, but hey, it took the ammunition. God.
That's not cool.
Eleon. Right, so you done looting? Are we heading?
Yep.
The
Looting is all
capacitor
done.
matrix?
So I should stop for a second. Need to go get a hit of oxygen. Maybe grab some food.
That's something I didn't check. Did I leave food in this thing? I did.
Oh my god, you are like all sorts of prepared. Okay. I'm all topped up and happy to go. Let's see. I also took out one of the rich dronite asteroid fields that were way out in the boondocks.
Took it out? What,
Yeah,
to dinner?
yeah, took advantage of it and then left with all its goodies. So I have 581 gold out of that.
You bounder. You cad.
Yeah, well, It was a privilege just to have dinner with me, so they should be grateful.
Well, indeed. Alright, so looks like we're getting off lightly with this. Whoops, no button.
I see scouts.
3 scouts and a harvester. No nullifiers or guardians, so that's good. Okay, start with the harvester. I've got a vague idea where the car is. Ah, meat shield has gone in first.
Meat shield. One each.
Yeah, I was going to start with the harvester, but actually I'm not.
Okay, backing up. Woohoo! 0.8. Still had shield.
Oops, left that exit a little late. Oh, all those bleeding swarm missiles. Right, anyway, that's a dead harvester, a dead scout.
Pop it back out again.
I'll try spinning, that's a good trick. Actually, it seems it is.
I can do that.
can get the.
Did you actually get my shield down? You did, you little bastard. Just barely. The last shot.
Okay, that's one shield generator pot. And that's the second one.
Excellent. Let me go out and do that quick repair on the nose turret so it doesn't go anywhere. Awesome. Everything else looks fine. Then we're good to go back in. Okay.
Okay, let's pop a few weapons off. You. We'll take you. You.
Got one of the Nova turrets back up.
There's one core.
Clearing swarmers.
Two core.
So now what's the one down the center?
I don't like about the old Scarab here. The engines are so far away you can't hear them.
Yeah, it's nice and quiet.
Everything
Like
quiet. Yeah,
quiet?
there we go.
I want to hear engines above flying.
It's like riding in a Rolls Royce.
Watching some more of The Crown last night, and man, they got some nice Jags in there. Damn.
The Crown is
I almost bought one when I was in Germany way back when, but
The Crown's a great TV show.
Yeah.
It's not
I was gonna ask
what
you. I was gonna
Britain's
ask you
like,
something
but
about. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't the way the show portrays it, but was the economy that bad in Britain from pretty much the late 50s to the early to mid 80s? Was it that long that it was that bad?
it's somewhat overstated, but largely speaking, yes, it was pretty bad.
I realize every country has recessions and things like that, and that it can suck pretty, but that usually only lasts like 2 or 3 years, or maybe 5, But this is like it went on, and I was like, holy crap!
You have to remember that we were paying war debts to America. We had to build a welfare state. A lot of men didn't come home, so that was a thing. We had rationing into, oh god, I can't remember exactly when it was. It was late 50s, something like that. Yeah, it was difficult period.
That and one of the things I like is it shows a lot of geology that I hadn't realized was there. I mean, when you see most islands, if they're volcanic, you expect mountains, but if they're not volcanic, and Britain is not really volcanic, it's plate tectonic, but I wouldn't expect the mountains that you have. It's pretty impressive.
It's bear in mind geology is not my thing, but I understand that it's actually a bit of a mishmash of
Yeah, it's a little bit of volcanic in the north, but
yes.
I guess it sits on the plate. It sits on the edge of the plate where the United States sits on, and then the plate that is Europe and Asia. And since they grind together right there, they form uplift, which causes your hills and mountains. Um, Pretty cool.
So
I mean,
we've got
I think the scenery looks really awesome. I just
oh
wouldn't.
yeah.
I would have expected most of England to be flat, and there's some pretty big ass mountains there, considering.
I mean the landscape does kind of noticeably change in Scotland. It's the geology is different.
But even in Wales, it's crazy. For, no, I'd love to visit like some of the northern islands, the Faroes and stuff.
I've been to Orkney. I've never been to Shetland. Keep meaning to do that. Never got around to it. Looks like you've cleaned these out.
Yep. Got it all.
Now, the Faroe Islands belong to Norway, right? They're not
No,
part of
it's
Scotland.
Denmark.
Oh, okay, it's not part of Scotland. So.
No, they're much further north.
Scotland is farthest north that you guys have.
Yes. Well, unless it killed it. No. No, kills it. It's further west. Did you get any of the harvesters, scouts?
I think I did, but doesn't mean you should double check me.
Go and double check.
I watch some of the videos every once in a while. That one that's online about the Isle of Man tourist trophy.
Oh, okay.
Those people are insane. I mean, it's one thing to go 150 miles an hour on an open road, but through those little villages and uneven streets and shit, no. I do think so. And it's weird that they have that race when almost every year somebody dies. But yeah.
It seems a little crazy to me, but
It's
well,
very, very crazy. I mean, I remember when I was younger and I had a bike and I went like 90, I think once, and I was like, okay, I did it. That's good enough. And I was like, nope, I'm not interested in going this fast on a permanent basis. No, thank you. I mean, because I rode most of the time in Texas, and I mean, you catch a bug in the throat that manages to make it by the bottom of your helmet, or you're not wearing gloves and you catch one in the hand. When if you don't have gloves on, it fucking hurts. And I was like, the last thing I do is go super fast. I was like, no. And my son, he got his license, and I was told him, I said, you be careful with that thing. He's like, why? I said, I don't care how fast you're going. I said, it's painful if you go down. I said, you could go 10 miles an hour in the parking lot on gravel, and if you fall, it's going to hurt. And I'm like, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. No, motorbikes, I know, I never really got into them. I used to ride one when I was a kid, but
I don't mind them, but I'm not. I don't know, they have their place. And I've learned my lessons with certain things about them. It's like you don't do anything when you're pissed off on a motorcycle.
No.
Because that's not a good combination.
The problem I've always thought with motorbikes is it doesn't matter how careful you are.
Yep.
The problem is
everybody else is
almost everybody else on the road is an idiot.
Is a total idiot.
They're in a big metal cage, and all you've got is some cow skin.
Yeah.
To protect you, and it's not enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember one time I was following this lady who had the perpetual left turn blinker on.
Oh yeah.
And after a while, I got frustrated and I goosed it, and then she turned left right in front of me.
Oh.
And I locked up the brakes and slid the bike sideways at about a 45-degree angle, and I thought for sure I was going down. But I'm never so glad that I took the motorcycle safety class where we practiced the thing you do in the car, turn in the direction of the skid. Well, it works much faster on a motorcycle, and the bike snapped straight, and of course I put both my feet down, which you're not supposed to do. But I put both feet down, turned in the direction of the skid. The bike just snapped almost instantly into a straight line, and I pulled off to the side of the road because I just was pissed off.
Yeah,
I was
and
totally mad. That son of a bitch. And then I was like, yep, that's when I pretty much learned don't do anything pissed off on a motorcycle because it's the worst possible time something will happen. But yeah, you're right. People do dumbass things in cars that they don't look. I mean, I try to do, but even myself, you've driven down the road and a bike has come by. And number one, even if you are looking, they come by so damn fast sometimes that you just don't have a chance to see them. And
yeah,
from sitting in the car, that concerns me knowing that I used to be a guy like that driving. Now I wouldn't go that fast, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, there can be 100 different instances when you just don't see the motorcyclist, and that's concerning to me, even if I don't ride much anymore, if at all.
yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah,
it's a problem of conditioning. Car drivers get used to seeing other cars, vans, lorries. Their brain gets conditioned to seeing that. They don't see
BRB.
smaller things like
yeah,
motorbikes,
tiny little things,
regular,
Yeah.
guys on regular bicycles. I mean, having high vis
I
gear
think it's almost
definitely
easier to
helps,
see
but
bicycles than it is to see motorcycles because you're going slower and you actively know you're near a bike lane, so you're paying attention. I find it 10 times easier to see a bicyclist than a motorcyclist.
yeah, that's true. It is much slower moving. Although, well, you can reach a fair clip on a.
Oh, I'm sure if you're not paying attention, you could overlook them, but um, so I'm pretty careful, that I don't take out a bicyclist and say a right hand turn or something like that. Where is he and all that good bit. But yeah,
What
but
tends to kill
then
cyclists is lorries turning because they don't see the cyclist in the mirror and
yeah.
they
Well, I don't know
turn
about you, but here in
and the
America,
cyclist goes
I
underneath
don't
the
think
wheel.
buses stop for shit. They don't look, they don't stop. They just act like I'm mass transit, so I have all the rights, and that's pretty much the the mentality that I get from buses. I mean, they'll cut you off. They won't even think about what they're doing. It's just like, I have the right of way. Boom. Big ass bus turns. Now, I don't know if it's that bad in England, but damn.
Um, I know. I mean, we have a lot of cities here have dedicated bus lanes.
Yeah.
Um,
Only
it
the
was
bigger
nice, but not
cities in
bad.
America have bus lanes.
Okay, I think we have probably got everything of value out of this.
I would
Little
agree.
scout guy here. Check, he's gonna. So, like locusts, we will move on to the next system.
So you picked a boring system. There's not much left in this system.
I wonder if we're going to crash on the way out.
I didn't crash when I came in.
Oh,
It shouldn't do.
I'm going to go to Zoopy, whatever, nearby. Zoop, 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 zoop. Well, actually, holy crap, my pentaxid. What is up with that? Where'd all my pentaxid go, man? Was I getting shot at or something?
I am not seeing a place called Zoop Zoop.
Just a moment. Let me. There we go.
I
It
think you're
is.
making it up. You're making up names now.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh wait, hang on. You mean
Zubi
Zubitoakua?
Zubi. Yeah, that one.
This game needs a translation, like a universal translator. Let's see, what do we have here?
What is that?
Not much. Just
I-
these
What's that chevron looking thing?
chevron looking thing.
Oh, it's gone now. Wait a minute. Try this again. Yeah, there's an orange chevron out there. It's a heat signature. I'm going to go take a peek.
Yeah, they're in every system. Okay.
No, they're not.
Yes. Yeah. Well, not orange ones, but
I'd be distracted by those. It's something good, I'm sure of it.
okay. Well, you enjoy that.
It can't possibly be another mimic.
I'm off to Beelzimmy mainly because I can pronounce it.
You're going to Beelzebub? Okay.
The chevron thing, by the way, means it's a structure that has an admin core and can't be destroyed.
Terry, the space is three-dimensional.
No, it lies. It's all flat.
Captain, his maneuvers suggest two-dimensional
Oh.
thinking.
Burak has been here, so he's probably killed everything.
Relay. All right. Where did you go? You killed. Everything's been dead, though, so it doesn't matter where you went.
You're in
I see.
Zubatukua?
I am, and I'm leaving. And he went to Bilzimi.
Mm-hmm.
Stay here until there's something to go to.
I am at Oriaru Mahal because everything else has been discovered by guys who I know hunt drones, so I'm pretty sure they've probably killed all the Guardians in the other systems. Okay, let's see. Which of you puppies is moving? You're all over there, right.
Okay. I just came into Markriel, and it has a relay, and that's it. Went to Bizimi. Tartayan. I'll head over to Tartayan.
I start seeing systems called like Jalfrezi and Buna, then we know it's just they're all just named after takeaway. Harvester, Scout, Brute Assembly, Boring.
And I'll go to the system where you can actually pronounce them.
Two more. Where do I want to go to from here? Right over to
There ain't nothing in this system. What the hell?
Beffrey. Beffrey! Beffrey!
A nullifier.
A nullifier?
Well,
Yeah, let us know when you're done with
it'll
that.
do for starters.
Wow, really? It's all over the place. Damn, you're right. Combat sites. Drone class 3, class 6 drone swarm nursery.
Yeah, go there, Dex.
All right, I'm going there now.
Take them some apple pie.
Jumping. Download security report. This is a drone nursery detected in this sector. Extreme caution is advised. Is this a good idea? Why'd you tell me to go
It's
here?
nice knowing you.
I got two infested
Bye.
fields. Two infested fields that are undiscovered.
Yeah, I don't really like them so much.
What do you like? Planets?
Planet orbits, yes. Lots of nice maneuvering. room.
There's this slimy G-Con guy who's been here.
Oh, yeah, he's a scumbag.
It's all over. It's
Don't
everywhere.
trust him.
He licks everything. Don't touch anything. Mine. Slaughter.
I can't tell how long ago he's been here since they don't use a real dating system. I'm gonna have to go there and look.
How is this thing not dead yet?
Bartle.
Brood nest, swarm assembly.
Can't be.
Small swarm. And nothing serious here.
Ah, there you go. Thank you.
Undiscovered. Combat class 6. And some a class 3. And a couple of other best fields.
Found the nullifier that's still alive. Harbinger. Got a nullifier and a dismantler in one system. Is that worth it?
Yeah, it's worth taking down a nullifier. Just need to be a bit careful with the EMPs.
A Duba.
A number of movers. Yeah, swarm capacitor matrix. That's worth it.
Okay, where are you at with that?
Just a minute. I'm getting shot at. I'm at Hetti Alpha. HETTI space Alpha. And I'm around Ryutis. So the brood nest. Come on, buddy. Small swarm. Still trying to identify all the movers. Just like 3 or 4 more.
Orbital systems should have 2 guardians, 2 nullifiers, sorted level of scouts and harvesters.
A guardian and a harvester. Oh, harvester, scout, small swarm. Okay, looks like I have 1 more to identify. Small swarm. There's a single guardian in the system? Really? Well, it was discovered by somebody else, so maybe they came in and cleaned out a few of them.
He did.
All right. You sneaky bastard, you're putting your butt right up against the rocks. I'm not happy with you. There we go. There's Nacho.
nullifier here is de-enginified. Make sure all the EMPs are gone. Field generators gone.
That there is a lot of swarmers. The hell? That's more swarmers than I was expecting. They did some work. They did more work than the other guy did. That felt like something special. Don't underestimate swarmers, man.
Where's the core and a nullifier?
There's two. There's one at the so on the main body. There's one at the front and one at the rear.
Like right down the middle in the back, and like in it, or
I think so. My plasma cannons tend to blow big holes, so it's a little hard to know. I missed a turret. I missed a turret. Shocking. Right, onwards to the unknown signatures.
Oh, it's a radio she's on me still. Okay. Oh wait, no, it's a new Guardian. Maybe that's what was happening.
The boss launching drones at you?
You know, come back out and prep on that one appropriately.
Yeah. Well, that's disappointing.
Okay. Second Guardian Sans engines. Back and recharge a bit. Certainly a significant amount of swarmer coverage on these guys.
Alright. I'm going to OAS Moon. Whilst you take care of those Guardians.
I got that one.
Good thing they don't have auto-destruct sequences on this thing.
That's the swarmers down. I'll leave this thing out here while I go in and grab.
Nice. 37 drone cores on that one.
That'll be that, huh? Small swarm come to join the party. Bit of a misnomer, actually, small swarm.
It should be better to be called the pathetic swarm.
The gathering.
Try this newfangled shotgun out. See what they do.
What the? Oh, Guardian. Without warning. Nice.
You're not in my system, right? Because I thought I got the Guardians.
No. I'm in completely different system.
Okay. Ooh, wait. Need to get my core back. Yep.
He did.
Then we go for the other Guardian.
Well, now I have a problem because I have too many ships to loot at once.
You killed them all? Oh man.
Yeah, 2 Guardians and a small swarm. Something else is shooting at me. What's
And my plasma's out again.
go? Alright, where's the original? Start, yeah.
He did.
Have you made enough of a
fellas.
dent
Salvage
so I don't
crews.
get killed? Nope. Not sure what's getting me, but I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take that lying down.
I'm not going to stand for that. No, you're going to lie down. Gently stoop.
What is my shields doing? 48%. We're doing fine. Hide behind here. There we go. Now we got our shields up. There. Now you can't get me. Meanie. Okay. Silence, you. That is not silence.
Silence!
Now we have silence. Uh, 6. Are we good to get one? We must have. Yes, there we go.
Oh.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. Level 2. Grab some food.
Grab some fruit.
Some fruit. Throw another stack of those in. Advanced medium. That's good. Okay.
Antiminium?
It's an intermediate medium now. Ah, there's a small swarm coming in on me. Why is my shields down? Excuse me? Fuel. Pentaxid. Nope, not that. But fine. Let's see. Close to a swarm nest. Here's that small swarm. It's getting pretty close for me to going back. I got too much stuff.
Unstuffified.
Yep.
That huge ship and you've got no cargo?
It's not that at all. I got a lot of cargo. But there's a point where the amount of cargo carrying compared to the risk.
Yeah.
Not like anybody recently might have felt that lesson.
Yeah. When was that, Dex?
A long time ago. many days ago.
I think this dismantler is stuck on something. Of course, he's stuck right next to a brood assembly.
Sorry, excuse me.
Gonna have to take the shield down on the brood assembly, pick off all the turrets, just to get to the damn dismantler.
Alright, that's all done.
I think he's stuck on a scout.
Yeah, it's time to head by, I think. A little tedious multi-tooling all these damn things. Oh, wait, I still got that swarm to do. Damn it.
You gotta do the swarm, man.
Gotta get those drone cores. Ooh, it's a mess in here.
No shortage of resources now. Okay. Done with the small swarm. And what, pray tell, are you doing just hanging around out here? Huh. actually repair. Yep, my front Gatling turret is gone.
Disaster.
It is a disaster.
What's that all about?
I think I have a little bit of time to spend on the ship repair dock. A little bit. You need to be edited. We took out all of those. Now this place here, however, still has a capacity matrix, so I'll mark it for later. So Terry, I'm not sure you can do that. Terry wants to make a ship that looks like a big cat and that it opens its mouth and shoots lasers out of it. It's the opening mouth that's problem. You can leave the mouth open and shoot lasers from it.
Yeah, you can't. There's no moving parts in Empyrion. But you can make a big cat.
In for repairs. How long? 98%, huh? Not too long.
Alrighty.
Wooden planks. What? What kind of damage that would require wooden planks? Or is this thing just randomly generating a list of resources?
There's those wooden planks for, oh god, what is it? I can't remember. Is it the shower or something like that?
Yeah, but the only thing I'm missing is a light Gatling laser. So WTF. Unless I took some hits in the back for something. Okay, lost anything back? Oh, I did lose a little something back here, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I lost a couple of things. Okay, I see. I get it. Yeah. Fine. All right, fine. My rear ramp took a few hits. Apparently when I was buggering out. Nice and copper. I know I've got some extra copper laying around in here. So I'm more than happy to just stuff that in. And there's some wooden planks. Well, there we go. I will repair off the loot. The best kind of repair.
I'm going to take a little break because I've been on a while and I'm starting to nod.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to do the old cargo sifting. Don't need that. CV laser mining drill. That's nice. I'll keep that. Toss those in there. Well full. Okay. Blocks and devices. Keep that. Armor. Advanced medium armor. I like that. That I can use because I think I'm running on improved at the moment. Right. Sort our fuel out. $228 drone cores. Drone swarm processors. Okay, now we can do rag base. Furnace. Kinda looks like ore gets thrown in. I'll sort it out later. 2 diamonds, a reactor core. Hey, that's nice. And a mod is that? SMG. That there. Another furnace item. Right there. So personal, we'll take the salvage core with me. Take that with me. High-end polymers. Ooh. Semiconductors. Some of the stuff I could use, but I'll throw it in the middle anyway. Rag base. Dropbox 1. Dump. There we go. Now underneath the blocks. No. Keep those. Drone bay for a planet, huh? And a pad. I'll keep those at the moment. A couple of CPU extenders we'll keep. Okay. What's it looking like so far? Diamonds, some gold. Yeah, that's producing some good output. Throw all that stuff into Dropbox as well. How about the furnace? The furnace out is looking deep. Ooh, a lot good gold amount too. Nice. 2,700 gold. Okay, that's looking better. That's more like where we wanted it. Okay. Now they're taking care of that. We've got 1 minute left. How are we doing on time? 1:20 my time. I think the next thing is I'm gonna go park my butt. We got a lot of work done. We went out there to drone space. I picked up. I know the other guys got a lot of cores too, or drone processors. I got 200. We were looking for 1,000 because the ship that GCon lost had 4 of the drone CPU aux cores in them, and it's 250 apiece. So we're trying to get them back to square one. I know he's also going to go off into the creative mode and tweak his ship a little bit. That was the Tonka he lost. The Tonka is his normal everyday ship. Basically, it's what mine has tended to be. Huh. Still has some repairs left, apparently, after the fixes. Come on. Let me in. Thank you. So we're all set. We got everybody back up and running again. All the piece parts. I think the only thing I put in here since the last blueprint were the passenger seats, and they're, of course, they're still here because they were there. Good. Go ahead and move. But yeah, so he's gonna tweak his Tonka a little bit. I mean, that's what we're all been doing. I mean, this has been a great design, but I've been tweaking it ever since we brought it in. Make sure I've got nothing in the refrigerator. It's the only thing that I really worry about, that stuff going bad, but that's good. Looks good. I will grab myself some food. I'll eat an MRE because yum. Well, I probably need to take the intruders over to be repaired too. But hey, that is what it is. We'll do that at some other point, probably offline. So I think on Thursday, depending if everything's going well, we'll be going after Tavera. We just got to go find one. I don't think I have anything else that really is like needing to get cleaned up. Can I put these in my inventory? I can. Actually, let me go back over here. I want to go take a peek. And just a quick recap on some of the stuff we'll be doing, changing out. We're going to swap out the 2 ice drills, probably putting in a couple more heavy rail guns. We'll swap out these 2 asteroid miners for the EMP turrets. This may or may not push me over on CPU, so we're hoping to also get a quantum core CPU. I think there is one waiting for me to be installed. I just haven't done it yet. As far as all the upgrades go on the statistics, I've now got 84 forward, 84 back. And that's carrying a bunch of stuff on me. I could probably lighten up the load a little bit, but that's compared to about, I think it's the 100 on the scarabs. So those are decent numbers. I know that my CPU, my shield count is comparable. I think the weapon count needs to be up a little bit, but then again, I've got that. My primary restriction is CPU, so just need to throw in some more CPU. Right now, as far as the CPU goes, we've got an advanced core large. That's the upgrade to the regular core that starts off the ship and gives you a bit of a bonus, but you need the data cores that you can get from some of the rarer loot, and we've finally got enough that each of us now has at least one of these. I've got the 4 auxiliary cores from the drone processors. I've got 1 CPU extender. I can get 3 more. I've got the 2 advanced, 2 basic, 2 improved, 2 superior for all the bonuses. So I got a little bit more space that I can go with, which is going to be awesome. We just have to put them in and armor it up. Now, the other thing I noticed was, look at my ammo. This spot here is the plasma stuff. I'd had a couple of stacks of plasma, and I'm out again. So I am seriously considering whether I want to keep that up. I'll take a look at the weapons again to see if I want to carry that through, or if I want to swap them out for something. I might very well swap them out because of the fact that I can't seem to stay in ammo, and that can be a challenge. Now that I've done that, over here, my ammo or my armor, I've got improved medium. Here we've got advanced. There, advanced medium. So I think I'm going to want to take a look at this. Let's pull these things out. This is going to give me one more slot. Not to mention, I don't know if it's any better elsewhere. What's this? 15, 15, 4, 15, 15, 4. I'm looking down at the heat and radiation protection. Armor 175 is the same. Yeah, it's all the same capacity. This has greater carry capacity and greater slots. So there is that. So let's put this back in. We have an advanced booster for 250 rather than the 125, so let's do that. That'll give me, in fact, I just trash these. We got so many of these, it's not even funny. And then typically, because this is going to be my environmental suit, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a cold booster as well. And with that, advanced multi. Gives me a little bit more radiation, a little bit more heat. I don't think I need the heat and stuff. I could use a little, well, I don't need the armor either. I think I'm going to go for mobility. Make it faster. Cool. Well, thank you very much, suit. You're out. There is an advanced light. I think I'll keep the advanced light in the inventory because I already got the one. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Deposit my cash. Thank you everybody for joining today. It's been a fun run. I got a lot of stuff today, and hopefully we'll get G-Con up and running on his repaired system. And I will look at putting on a few more things. We'll take a look at that when we get back in the next episode on Thursday when we go get everything blown up. I laugh about it, but it is a reasonable likelihood that we do not survive this attack because it's like an end game ship that we're going after, and it's bananas. Come back and join us on Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.